the star of the Carton Show, every morning right here on FS1.
Thanks for coming on with us, man.
I'm not the star of it. It's just got my name on it.
We did a home.
Yeah.
I thought we were, I came on your show like 6 weeks ago. I was told it was going to be a home at home.
That's what I was told,
you've
too.
never, you've never shown up here.
I was told that you and everyone else said, we don't want him on our show.
Okay, well, we're going to have all of my people talk to your people. But you're a Jets fan.
Yes,
Do you want Carr?
unfortunately, a long-suffering Jet fan. Can he play football?
Yeah.
Then I'd like him.
Okay.
Yes, I will take Derek Carr. I will take Tony Romo. I will take Jimmy Garoppolo. You give me a guy that can actually play the position, and I will take him. Yes, 100%. We will take Derek Carr like that.
Can I push back a little bit?
Please.
Sure. What about all this Mike White?
You don't hear that from
the
me.
Mike White parade. Because I was the only guy defending Zach Wilson. We don't have to we can leave the Zach Wilson. But seems to be some real enthusiasm for Mike White. The team seems to rally around Mike White. Do you think that Mike White could be the solution if you don't get
I don't know. I mean, theoretically, he could be a solution. We haven't seen enough of him. I think, people are in love with Mike White. It's like being, like the tallest dwarf in the circus, right? Just because you're the tallest dwarf doesn't mean you're tall, right? Just compare yourself to the other people in your world. And he's not Zach Wilson. And that's the only reason we like him, because he's not Zach Wilson. Let's be fair. The Jet offense has looked better.
It's looked
like
a
more
real
confident
offense
when Mike White plays.
Correct.
And, there's the old thing we have. Greg knows it better than all of us. The eye test. I know what I see. Mm-hmm. One guy can play. One guy looks like he might be able to play.
And then Strevler.
And then Strevler, by the way, great story, right? So no one ever heard of the kid. He was a gunner on the special team squad this past August, and is also a quarterback. Came in, and in the summer, in the preseason, led the Jets on 3 come-from-behind victories.
And that's how he got.
What?
Yeah.
That's my guy.
So listen, I think Carr would be the best quarterback the Jets have had since the first year of Vinny Testaverde. Since '98.
So that year was special, obviously, AFC Championship
right,
game, Denver
and then Vinny,
Broncos.
the next year tore his Achilles,
tears his
and the whole thing
Achilles
goes
week
to hell.
1, the whole bit.
But I think Carr. I don't think Carr is great. I think Carr is the definition of an average NFL quarterback.
Sure.
But if I happen to believe, Greg, that the Jets, you look around and it's like, okay, Quinnen Williams is awesome.
Yep.
I think Sauce Gardner is already arguably the best corner in football, certainly en route to being that. Mm-hmm. Garrett Wilson is going to be a legitimate number 1 receiver. And Breece Hall, we'll see. What we saw from him was very good, but he hurt his knee, so we'll see how much that affects him. Mekhi Becton is a high draft pick if he can ever get back on the field.
He won't.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of bad injuries. I understand that. But still, you have all these pieces. I don't think you need a star quarterback in order to compete in the AFC East with that roster. The AFC is really good now because of the Dolphins and the Bills, obviously. But, the Dolphins and Bills are real teams, and Patriots are terrible. But I think that with Derek Carr, the Jets, it would be very surprising to me, Greg, if they didn't make the playoffs if they had Derek Carr.
Yeah, it would be surprising if they didn't make the playoffs. But for me, I don't like it. I just don't like it because I don't know if Derek Carr is ready to live up to that type of pressure and expectation. He's a cautious quarterback. I love Derek Carr. I think he's a really good quarterback. I love him even more as a person, and I don't even personally know him. But with this market and the expectation that fans like Craig have, like it's not just a plug and play and then, because the expectation, if Derek Carr gets here, will be playoffs, deep run in the playoffs, and potential. Can we win a Super Bowl with how good that that defense is?
If you consider that the New York Jets are, possibly going to the playoffs this year, unlikely, but possibly at least in the conversation for it, and that's with incompetent quarterback play.
Exactly right.
If you give me an average to above average, legitimate NFL veteran at quarterback, that's all I need, and I'm at least in the tournament.
I mean, Salah's trying to build in New York what he was a part of in San Francisco.
Great defense, weapons on offense, a quarterback that doesn't mess it up.
Exactly right. Go ahead.
No, so I want to show you this stat panel.
Yeah.
Quarterback comparison since 2014, Craig.
Yeah.
But that's what I don't understand, Greg, because it's not like you would think, I'm getting some superstar. You're getting Derek Carr. So shouldn't your expectations be, I'm getting Derek Carr? Pretty good, but it's not a Super Bowl quarterback.
I mean, I can make the argument there's a lot of guys that have gone to Super Bowls and won Super Bowls who you would have said prior to that they're not Super Bowl quarterbacks. This is a team with a top 5 elite defense, although they don't get as many turnovers as you think, and they've got legitimate weapons at wide receiver. Breece Hall, who knows if he comes back after a torn ACL. The weakness of the Jets is the right side of their offensive line. They can't block anybody. But I still think you give me any one of the guys I'm sure we'll mention a lot over the next 6 months. And I'm not saying the Jets are winning a Super Bowl. God, wouldn't that be nice? But I'm telling you, they're a playoff team, and there's playoff caliber talent there. And when you waste that, fans like us, commentators like us get ticked off.
And I think the fact that with 2 weeks left in the season, the Jets, they don't control their own destiny because Miami's ahead of them. But the Jets, if Miami were to lose this week and the Jets win, then they do control. Then Miami versus the Jets is a playoff game. That the Jets are in this position with bottom 5 quarterbacking throughout the season is, to me, a testament to the talent on the roster. And it's not talent on the roster a la when the Jags went on a run with Bortles, when it was free agent, high-priced older players.
Right.
It's younger guys who we all expect to be getting better. So I think I'm not a Jimmy G guy. I think with Jimmy G, they'd be a playoff team. I think with Derek Carr, they'd be a playoff team. I think if they wanted to shoot the moon and see if they could make a Godfather offer for Lamar Jackson, they would be a Super Bowl caliber team. I think the roster's great, and I think Saleh, if he can get the clock management stuff down, he's a good motivational coach. I like what they're doing. I like that.
Davante Adams.
Easy games against the Patriots.
Okay, no.
So that's nice.
Would you stop? That was not a Patriot slander.
Sorry.
Oh, you're a Patriot fan. I just picked up on that. I got Kansas City, New England, and my man over there.
15-0
As the wind blows, so does the fandom.
You are a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a Lions fan.
Look at Greg.
Mostly
Greg
Vikings
gets
and
mad.
Kirk
Hey,
Cousins.
let's move on to Davante Adams.
Please move on.
Move on.
You like Kirk Cousins. That's
You're
not an
hurting Greg's
insult. You
feelings.
like Kirk Cousins. He's your
Let's move
MVP.
on.
Hey,
Exactly.
Davante Adams took questions yesterday while wearing a Fresno State gear, mind you, about his friend, college teammate, and neighbor, Derek Carr. Take a listen. Your reaction, Greg?
They're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Period. Like he just said it out of his own mouth. The reason why he was even there is because of Derek Carr. You extended Derek Carr. You gave me my deal. We were going to possibly retire together. Like that was his expectation. Now, no Derek Carr. You have to come to Davante Adams or bring him to you and involve him in what you're going to do next. And what I believe, and I've said this about Tom Brady, you got to go after Tom Brady. But there's another 12 that I think that they possibly can go after.
Here we go. Here we go.
Like
Start
this.
the circus.
Aaron
Rodgers is going to Las Vegas.
Aaron Rodgers.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
interesting.
It absolutely. Now, I'm not a resident GM, so you would have to make it make sense. But for me, you have the rapport, you have the chemistry, you got the weapons. Like, I don't know what that looks
They
like.
could make it work.
They could make it work.
Because Carr's money goes away essentially
Correct.
entirely. And the Packers have to eat some dead money. But cutting Rodgers is not possible.
Can't cut him.
But trading him is possible because the guaranteed money just transfers over to the Raiders. They would have to eat some of it if they want to move on with Jordan Love. And that's interesting. I didn't see that. Let me say this first before I go to you, Craig. First of all, as much as it pains me to say, Kevin Wildes was on to something yesterday when the Derek Carr news happened. He was like, Davante's going to be angry. He made a big deal of it. He's like, they moved in next to each other, and Greg and I were both like, he'll be fine. Then Davante talked about it, and Davante's like, I'm really upset about this. So good job, Kevin Wildes. Well done, my friend. Okay, there you go. Davante, I understand the emotion part of it. I think he got bad agent advice or advice in his life if he was under the impression that Derek Carr was untouchable. It's like, I'm going to the Raiders, and they're never going to do anything with Derek Carr. Everybody knew that once Josh McDaniels got hired, that Carr was going to be on a probationary basis. So him being blindsided by this, I think, is a little odd because none of us, we were talking about the Raiders moving on from Derek Carr for the last month. So I don't think he should be blindsided. As far as Rodgers, that would solve some things for them. If
you can make it work cap-wise, why wouldn't you want him, right? I still don't think they win a Super Bowl with what they've got there right now. And I'm not going to claim to know their draft status because I'm not into it until after the season. But listen, I don't know how, alluring Vegas is to guys like that. The Jets got Brett Favre years ago. He was 8-3 till he messed up his shoulder. Yeah. Who knows where that would have gone? Mm-hmm. There's going to be 4 or 5 legitimate veteran quarterbacks, and there's going to be twice that many openings for those guys to go to. So take Brady, take Rodgers, to a lesser extent, take Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, of course. Those guys are going to kind of have their pick of the litter. It's going to be like The Bachelor, where teams are going to have to put a rose on their door to let them know that they want them. And I think whether it's San Francisco, not knowing what they do this year, because they could win a Super Bowl this year, Miami, the Raiders, the Jets, there are teams that talent-wise are missing that one guy from being what they think, at least, is a Super Bowl contender. And I think it's 4 or 5 guys, and where they go, the power structure of the two conferences goes with them.
So,
and if I was one of those guys, I'd do my damnedest to stay in the NFC.
Correct.
Because the road to a Super Bowl is much more difficult to go through. Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, obviously. Now Herbert is in the playoffs. I would rather be an NFC guy than an 100%. AFC guy.
Can I throw out another theory?
Yeah.
Craig, you like this one? I don't know. I don't have the Jets.
My shirt matches your tie.
I know. We timed it up like that. Maybe if you get Derek Carr, it's a little Davante Adams comes with him.
Yeah, I don't think Davante Adams is tradable, but you'll have to see how that works out financially.
Nice. A little bit of like when Brady went down. It's like, you know what, you're going to get Gronk and AB.
Yeah, but I don't need Davante Adams.
Exactly.
I've got legitimate wide receivers on my roster. Can't say the same for your roster.
Patriots need everybody.
I'm sure you guys can make Davante Adams the best wide receiver in the league work.
Yeah, but I don't want him. I'm not greedy.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not selfish. I'm not greedy. I'm tired.
Can't be greedy.
That's about it.
That's why Patriots 15-0 against the Jets. Just take Davante Adams.
I don't want Davante.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Should the Eagles shut Jalen Hurts down? I don't know. He's hurt. Might as well. Take Davante. He's amazing.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.